Beehiiv versus Mailchimp, only what you really need to understand.
Alright, so first of all, let me just tell you very quick how this is completely different from all of the other reviews. Basically, vast majority, all of the reviews really tell you all of the different features of the softwares, but they just give you a list and that's it, and at the end you are still confused because you don't really know what actually is the best for your specific needs. Whereas what I try to do with my reviews is I don't tell you about all of the different features, I tell you only specific features that you actually need to know to make a decision. And I tell you what tool is best for your specific case because it's always dependent. So I don't waste your time. I tell you only what you really need to know. I put in a lot of work and effort, me and my team, trying to figure this stuff out. And also I have discounts and bonuses for all of the different tools that I talk about, so check all of the links. By the way, I created a blueprint for the best business model out there, so check the description. Okay, so we will start out with some marketing features because when it comes to newsletters, marketing is one of the main priorities. So first of all, we have referral program. So this is within your newsletter, you can have a section that you give out something in exchange for a referral. Let's say like if people refer 3 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 10 people, you're going to give them something. If they refer 100 people, you're going to give them something, whether it's some digital freebie, coaching session, some physical good, whatever it is. There's a lot of cases of newsletter softwares growing crazy using this exact thing. So it can be very, very beneficial. So Beehiiv, they already have this integrated within their software, which is amazing. With Mailchimp, you can use this using third-party software. Next, super important marketing feature is the recommendation network. And what this means is basically, let's say someone subscribes to your newsletter and then you have this pop-up that shows other newsletters that they might be interested in. So you're kind of exchanging this newsletter subscriber, whatever you want to call it. It can be a very powerful way of growing your list as well, because you don't really need to do anything. You just need to find someone to have these recommendations exchanges with. So Beehiiv has this already integrated with it, which is amazing. Mailchimp doesn't have this and no other app. So I will have a link for this whole doc and I will keep on updating it and adding some additional information, and I have discounts for all of these tools and bonuses, so check out the description. By the way, I have made a video comparing all of the best newsletter software, so I will link that below. Next, let's talk monetization, and first of all, sponsored posts. So these are called different on different platforms, but basically what this means is that within your newsletter, you can ask people to subscribe to other newsletters and you actually get paid for that, usually somewhere between from as little as $1 to as much as maybe $5 if people just subscribe to a different newsletter. So Beehiiv has this already integrated. Mailchimp doesn't have this. By the way, I have created a document of 50 best growth hacks used by the biggest marketers out there. Check the link below. Next, we have ad network. This is again part of monetization strategy, and ad network basically just means that the software allows you to find ads automatically being placed on your newsletters, so they save you a lot of time. Do keep in mind that you will need to pay usually 20% fee for that, and even if they don't have ad network, you can go out and find ads yourself, or there are specific tools that allow you to do it, and you'll just pay fees for those tools. I will leave all of the links for all of the additional tools that I mentioned, by the way, as well. Beehiiv has this. They do have an ad network, and usually they will pay you per click. Mailchimp doesn't have ad network, but you can use some other tools. The next point for monetization as well is is digital products, and this is honestly, you can make a lot of money through sponsored posts and ad network. However, if you really want to level up to the next level and make a lot of money from your newsletter, then digital products is the way to go. This is where you can really make a lot of money. And I have, by the way, a whole channel dedicated on just building a digital product business, so I will leave all of the links, check that out. So unfortunately with Beehiiv, you actually don't have any way of selling digital products. You don't have that functionality, which is really unfortunate. Mailchimp allows you to sell digital products, and they do have fairly good features when it comes to that. Now, the next thing is, again, monetization, and we're talking subscriptions. So technically this is a digital product as well, but I put it separately because this is just one digital product that some softwares allow you, whereas with digital products, there's so many different products that you can be selling. Beehiiv allows you subscriptions within the software. Mailchimp allows you to have paid subscriptions. Now, the next step is design. And when it comes to design, this is basically how exactly you can design your actual newsletter, and also when it comes to your opt-in pages, forms, landing pages, all of those kind of things. So first of all, when it comes to Beehiiv, I will actually give 10 out of 10 to Beehiiv. They have slightly, it's not a huge massive difference, but they have a couple of little design things, specifically when it comes to the newsletter, that are better, that do stand out and allow you to do additional stuff. Mailchimp is a 9 out of 10. They have most of the functionality that you will need. Now, next thing we got is integrations, and why this is important is basically because if you're using other tools, so for example, let's say you are running a store on Shopify, or you're running your website on WordPress, or you just want to use specific tools for your conversions, for running ads, let's say, whatever it really is, you will need to have integrations, especially if you want to build a really big business. So when it comes to Beehiiv and integrations, I actually put 0 out of 10, but they just started doing some integrations. So now technically you can integrate with WordPress and Shopify, but it's still really limited, and it still is not very beneficial. I can't still really use it with my WordPress website, so I would say it's almost basically non-existent, unfortunately. Mailchimp is great when it comes to integrations. I would say it is a 9 out of 10. Now, the next really important thing is automations, and this is important for basically your conversions. So if you are running a business, you are doing certain offers that you are promoting, whether it's digital products, affiliate, whatever it is, you want to set up certain automations that will just help you to make money on autopilot. I can't emphasize how important that is and how much easier it's going to make your life. So when it comes to Beehiiv, unfortunately doesn't have yet many automations. They actually just started implementing automations a couple months ago of me making this. So it's a 5 out of 10 because they have some of the basic ones that you will need, but they don't have more advanced features like, for example, A/B testing within the automations, and they are lacking certain triggers and things like that. Mailchimp has a good amount of automations. I will say some of the other softwares have a little bit more. I will give it an 8 out of 10 because it's just lacking a couple of basic triggers and basic automation steps. Next, we have user experience, and one of the things is the ease of use, how easy, just how simple it is to use the software. Beehiiv has done a great work. It's very easy to use the software. I will give them a 9 out of 10. It's very straightforward. They also have a lot of different tutorials how to do it. Mailchimp, ease of use, I would say is around 8 out of 10. It's not horrible, but there is definitely some place for improvement. It's not as simple as something, let's say, MailerLite. So when it comes to pricing, I will say that when it comes to Mailchimp, they have a few different plans. So they have the completely free plan. However, the completely free plan, honestly, it offers so very few features. I'm not a huge fan at all of it. And then they have Essentials, Standard, and they have Premium. And basically, I would say there isn't that much of a difference when it comes to these plans. One thing you just need to keep in mind is that on these plans, you can only send 12, well, it depends on the plan, but basically on the essential plan, you can send 10 times the emails to your contact list. So let's say if you have 10,000 contacts, you can send out 100,000 emails, so 10 emails per month. On their medium plan, it's 12. So if we take this plan, for example, what that means is you can send out 3 emails per week, and that might seem like quite okay, but when you think about it, if you're getting someone in to sign up for your email, then you are going to be sending out those first couple initial emails of onboarding. So that adds up quite a bit. And then basically if you have a newsletter once or twice, and then you have some upsells, it becomes a little bit limiting. I really don't like the part. I feel like it's a little bit tricky that they're charging or limiting you on how many emails you can really send. And if you'll want more than that, you'll need to go with the premium plan, and as you can see, the premium plan is kind of crazy expensive. So in general, for 10,000 subscribers, the essentials is $82 a month, the standard is 101, and the premium is 262. And it doesn't seem maybe that expensive per se, but then again, when I compare all of the different features that you get compared to other tools, I honestly think that it's very overpriced. You don't really get as much as you do with other tools. So I rather, because it's not even like that cheaper, if you compare it to some other options, it's kind of like medium price. So I rather either go for a cheaper solution that actually provides me more, or I go with a more expensive solution and rather pay extra $10 and just get a bunch more stuff. So when it comes to Beehiiv pricing, there's a couple of things here you need to understand. So first of all, they have a completely free plan for $0 up to 2,500 subscribers. However, the only thing here is that you will not have all of the different monetization options, the ad network, the boost, and premium subscriptions, and also a bunch of other things like automations and the referral, some of the tools that really help you to grow. You don't have that. So it comes with, like, I would say, a very basic sort of free plan. And the other thing to understand then is basically you have 2 different plans. So you have the scale and you have the max. The only difference really here is that you have all of these functionalities on scale, but on max, first of all, can remove the Beehiiv branding. You also get a course, but also the main thing I would say is that you can have up to 10 publications. So this is basically really if you want to scale more, whereas with this, you have 3 different, I don't see where it's written, but you have 3 different publications with the scale plan. In general, the scale plan is $39 per month for 1,000, and max is $99 per month, which honestly is pretty expensive to start out with. That is just for 1,000 subscribers. But in general, what I like to do is check 10,000 subscribers. So when we do 10,000 subscribers, the scale plan is $99 per month, and then the max plan is $200 per month, which honestly is a fairly good pricing. I would say at the scale plan, especially at $99 per month, that is good value. Alright, so now let's talk overall what is the best use case, why you should use certain software based on your specific needs. This is probably the most important part. So for Beehiiv, if you're going to use Beehiiv, I would say it's best for just newsletter growth. If you are okay with monetizing with just sponsored content, because as I mentioned, you can't sell digital products, which is such a pity. So you need to keep that in mind that, okay, the only way you're making money is the ad network and sponsored content. The downside is it lacks e-com functionality, and it lacks also some of the advanced automation. So just keep in mind, if those things don't matter for you, then if you just want to grow, because for growing newsletter, Beehiiv is probably one of the best options. But keep in mind, if this is a need for you, the advanced automations and e-com functionality, then Beehiiv is not going to be the best. When it comes to Mailchimp, honestly, I'm not a fan of Mailchimp. I don't recommend it. It's lacking a lot of main features, a lot of like automation things. When it comes to newsletter growth, it doesn't really have any of the functionality, and also it's just overpriced. You pay way too much. You pay more than other softwares that are providing way more to you. I think it's just an old software that has been out there for a while, and that's why you're overpaying.